Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I know it's a Monday morning, but this is an exciting day. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hey, man, welcome to the University of the District of Columbia Community College, Bertie Backus Campus ribbon cutting. Yeah! This is a very exciting day for me, for us, and again, really for me in particular, and let me tell you why. This project has been representative of my tenure here as Dean of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning, which to me has been about building upon a solid foundation, leading the division to and through the next phase, and positioning it for even higher levels of success. So let me just take a minute to share with you how we got here. When I took over a little over 3 years ago, one of my first meetings, and I mean one of my first meetings, was with Commissioner Wiles and with some of our ANC community members, and they said, well, what about phase 2? And I'm looking like, what about phase 2? What is phase 2? And so they started talking about the vision for the Backus campus and that there was a phase 2 and a phase 3, and we needed to pursue that. So I did some investigation to find out, well, what could we do to move this ball forward? And I remember telling you, I said, well, I'm going to find out, and we're going to make it happen. And he looked, and he kind of gave me that look, and there's none against him. He kind of gave me that look like, yeah, we'll probably never see her again. One of my second meetings was with the Office of Real Estate and Facilities at the University of the District of Columbia. And we found out about phase 2, and they walked me through all of these wonderful drawings, and they said, well, you know, what's the problem? I said, what's the problem? They said, well, we just have to just say, what is the problem? And the problem was we needed at least $1 million to do a necessary power upgrade. So I said, well, then let's just go get the $1 million. And they looked at me and oh, yeah, sure, you're a young whippersnapper. You just go get $1 million. You go do that. Great. All right. But you know what? We did. We went out with the support of the Vice President of Real Estate and Facilities, Barbara Jumper, who I really want to thank, because without her support, we certainly be opening this wing. We wouldn't be opening that beautiful building at 4200. She stood in support and said, you know what, let's find a way to do phase 2. We identified a federal funding opportunity, the United States Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration, and you know, if you need one, you got to go for more than one. The maximum was $2 million, and so we wrote a grant for months to get $2 million that the university was going to match for $4 million, and we wrote the grant, and the U.S. Department of Commerce said, I like where you're going, but you're not there yet, and we rewrote the grant, and we rewrote the grant. We had site visit after site visit, and we rewrote the grant, and then we were going to submit again. We had until 11:59 p.m., and the system crashed. And folks who were there know I came flying out of the office and we're going to Philadelphia. Let's go. But the system luckily came back up. And the day that we received our notification letter that the United States Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration was going to fund this project, man, it took everything we had not to do a backflip. And so I want to thank Ms. Tenny Dolphin, who's here, Chief of Staff at the U.S. Department of Commerce. And not just for the $2 million, although we really do appreciate the $2 million. She said to me earlier, what else can we do? I said, well, what other funding sources you got? But I know that this is important to her because she did serve as interim director at DOES under the Fenty administration and is a Ward 5 resident. So again, thank you for your support and your commitment. Now, getting the award was just the first step. It took a year to get the award and almost 2 years to open this new wing. And here we are today. So back to why this is representative of what we've done the past 3 years. Number one, almost everything that we have pursued, we've started with a laundry list of why it wasn't going to happen. Just list after list, this, you shouldn't do it, it's not worth the investment, this, that, and the third. But you know what we had done? We had changed the culture of the division to focus on the student. And you're going to hear later on from Luis Cedillos. And when you look into his eyes and know that he represents the 3,494 residents of the District of Columbia that we served last year, and the additional 1,158 we can serve by opening this wing, that laundry list, it might be long, but it's not insurmountable. So we have to know that no matter what it takes, it's hard, you got to put in the work. Even when they keep coming back saying, you got to put in more work, have the supporters in place, like Mr. Willie Taylor at the regional director at Commerce, Dr. James Moore, who was an advisor on the project. And even when you have all of these setbacks, you have to keep going because it's about you, Mr. Cedillos, it's about our students, and it's about the residents of the District of Columbia. So this one project spanned my entire tenure as dean. And many of you know that I've announced that I'm moving on to a new opportunity. And while I am leaving the university, I am not leaving this work. And like Ms. Dolphin, I hope that when I'm over at the U.S. Department of Education, I can continue to support amazing, amazing work such as this as we continue to move the ball forward here in the city and in our country. And I hope that over the next few years, every single square foot in this building as usable space gets developed and is open. And I'm going to speak it into being. We're going to erect a state-of-the-art building on the back. We're going to do it. We've seen it. PG Community College has this beautiful building. Even if we could pick it up and move it over here, but one way or another, we're going to erect a new building on the back of this. And so I want to close by thanking two individuals who lead this campus and who have poured their blood, sweat, and tears to help us get here today, who also helped plan this event, but who are also going to be the folks who lead us to that vision of everything being used here at the Bertie Backus Campus. And that's Sherman Cook, our site director. Jua Williams, our assistant site director. Where's Jua? He's somewhere. The amazing, amazing Team WDLL. You know that I love you guys, man. Team WL, I see you. Y'all in the house. See, they're being reserved today. Team WDLL, y'all in the house? Yeah, we're in the house. Now, when Mr. Cook and Mr. Williams started planning this, I said, now, you know, we don't usually throw a party, but when we do. So it is my absolute honor to bring up somebody whom I respect and admire for, I talk about laundry list of bad, for a laundry list of amazing reasons, not the least of which is her commitment to public service and the fact that she gets up every single day and works on behalf of, serves, and protects the residents of the District of Columbia. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to UDC. It is my pleasure to be here, and you should see what I see. I see really great residents of the District of Columbia of Ward 5. I look out across the street and I see progress. We're gonna have more Ward 5 residents. And I also see many of my friends and neighbors. I live a couple of blocks up the street. And so we have, in fact, been talking about and working on this Backus campus for some years. I think it's also crossed a good amount of my tenure as well as ANC Commissioner, Ward 4 Council member, and now Mayor of our great city. And I'm very happy to see that more and more of this school is going to be used. I grew up not far from here, which means I spent a lot of time in Backus. Every iteration of Backus I have seen and sometimes endured. And now I am so happy that this facility has turned the corner and people will be here learning for a lifetime. And you know that we have spent the first 10 months of my administration really focused on how, and this is not rhetoric, this is what we wake up every single day to do. How can we build on the progress that our city is seeing, but also make sure that every Washingtonian has a place in it? And we know that we do that through lifelong learning. We know that we will do that through our university when we make sure that people are being prepared for a world-class city with good paying jobs. And I am just delighted. Some of our folks in Ward 5, Mr. President, may not have had a chance to meet you yet, but we have a great new president at UDC, and I want to acknowledge him, President Ronald Mason. Give him a big round of applause. And a wonderful part of the university system is our community college. And I want to acknowledge Dr. Diana Phillips, who is here. Give her a big round of applause. And our Dean for Workforce Learning, I don't know where you're going, but I'll talk to you about that later, is Kim Ford. And I want to acknowledge Kim Ford. She's doing an outstanding job. And I'm also pleased I get to work with a great group of people down at the Council of the District of Columbia who really, really share the vision that I think all Washingtonians have for how we grow our city. And just so everybody knows, it's our job to sometimes do like this, to get the best policies and initiatives possible. But at the end of the day, there's little space between how we want to grow our city. And I want to acknowledge my friend, Kenyon McDuffie from Ward 5. Give him a big round of applause. So talking about the expansion of UDC is important, and I know that the president is going to talk to you a little bit about his vision for how we move the entire system forward. And a big part of how we do that is all of the space that UDC has, right, Mr. President? And how we make the best use of it. And this is a particularly good space, close to the metro stations, close to where people need to be trained for work, in the heart of a community of senior citizens who are lifelong learners, right, Ward 5? Right. And they want to be served as well. And we're also really at a great place in the history of our city because everybody is focused on how we are going to best use the $100 million that this city invests every single year in workforce training. And that's why I hired Courtney Snowden. She's the Deputy Mayor for Greater Economic Opportunity. She will work with UDC, the Department of Employment Services, our Department of Small and Local Businesses, and all of the agencies that will prepare Washingtonians for a pathway to the middle class. So give a hand to Courtney Snowden. So we know that the numbers all around the city suggest that we're moving in the right direction in so many ways. And one number that we should all be troubled by is that we have, in fact, grown the number of people who are living in poverty over the last 10 years as we've also grown the city. So when we talk about creating jobs and attracting business, we also want to make sure that we have the workforce that's going to be DC residents in those jobs. And that's what we are so focused on and what we all have to be focused on. I want to thank the U.S. Department of Education and Tanae Dauphin. I didn't know you came with $2 million. Can you come back on Friday? And Tanae, we want to acknowledge her. I was so happy to see her. Tanae was a former chief of staff in the District of Columbia, and it's good to have friends in high places. So we want to do you proud. And then I was also happy to see that the taxpayers of the District of Columbia put up the other $4 million. And that's what it takes. It takes partnerships. It takes the university being able to compete among other universities at the department and have a winning plan. So I like to hear us when we win grants from the federal government, because that means that we have presented something that's innovative, that's data-driven, and that we have to be accountable for, because I don't want to have to give her $2 million back. So we have to be accountable. And so I want to thank the president, of course, for his focus, and Secretary Duncan, who I guess is going to be moving on, but he's been good to us in the District of Columbia, and we are going to be worthy of more grants that's focused on workforce learning, focused on our entire university system, and how we move the District of Columbia along. So I want to thank all of the ANC commissioners who are here. I heard Commissioner Wilds was recognized a little bit earlier, and I want to thank you for your support and focus on UDC. Now, Mr. President, the ANC commissioners here have been very focused on this building and making sure that it enhances the neighborhood, that they have access to it, and that it serves the residents of Ward 4, which is just a couple of blocks away, and Ward 5. But with that metro across the street, it serves the entire District of Columbia. So congratulations, Kim, and to your whole team, and Mr. President, my congratulations for the whole system. Thank you.
Oh man, I can feel the energy. I also feel the heat. It's a little toasty in here. So, I'm always going to recognize Team WDLL, but the entire University District of Columbia system is made up of staff, faculty, administrators that are doing an amazing, amazing job. And I want to recognize Eric Thompson, Alan Walsh, and Todd Charles. You guys were a big part of this wing opening, and we really appreciate all of your work. And see, they're tall, so you can see them everywhere. I am so excited about the new president of the University of District of Columbia. Sometimes he gives me a hard time, but when he said he was putting together a vision and a plan, he sat down and he talked to people, but more importantly, he listened. He listened to what people had to say, and he truly took it in. And when he announced at convocation that the university was going to be known as a university where dreams come true, I said, that's the guy. President Ronald Mason.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. Happy to see you here. Just for the record, Mayor, you should know I caught the Metro in, and it took me about 20 minutes to get from Van Ness to here, so it is a building for the entire district. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Councilmember McDuffie, for coming. A great mayor for a great city. Let's give her a hand. And a great leader for a great ward. Let's give him a hand. I'd like to also let the ANC member that I talked to know that we will work on that gate in the back, and we'll put it on my list and we'll get it done as quickly as possible. Let me recognize my two board members, Mr. Anthony Tard, who chairs the Community College Committee. You want to stand up, Anthony, and wave? And Mr. Jerome Shelton, who chairs the Audit Committee. So, nothing fills a man's heart like a good job. And with the help of the mayor and the district, we've been able to work with almost 4,000 people to help them pursue that dream. But a good job is not just getting a certificate and getting to work. It's putting yourself in a position to get a better job with an associate's degree. And then once you get a better job with an associate's degree, it's putting yourself in a position to get a better job with a bachelor's degree. And here at the University of the District of Columbia, when you hear the mayor talk about her pathways to the middle class, that's exactly what she means. To be able to reach your fullest potential as a human being and then take the next step to the next level of potential. So we are proud to be the public system of higher learning for the district that is put here exactly for that reason, to help every district resident be the best that they can be and have their dreams come true, young Miss Ford. Thank you for all you do. We'll miss you, but we wish you luck in your next adventure. Thank you all.
See, these are the events that remind you that you're short. Thank you, President Mason. So one of the things that's critically important, I remember when I first started at the community college, was that it's important. Community comes before college. I talked about meeting with ANC commissioners, and Commissioner Edwards and Mrs. Edwards are here. We love you guys. We have the ANC office here located at the Backus Campus, and you guys have been tremendously patient with us as we've moved you and moved you and moved you, but I think you like your new space in the new renovated wing. The ANC holds their holiday parties here. They hold their meetings here. Critically important because, again, community comes before college. I was looking at the backdrop. I'm like, yep, there we are. Yeah. And the leader of the community college, who is our fearless leader, Dr. Diana Phillips. Come on up.
So you've got all sizes here today, tall, small, we're all over the place. And I guess I would start by saying nothing breeds success like success. And that's exactly what this ribbon cutting ceremony represents today. Back in the spring of this year, 2015, I was charged by the Community College Committee of the Board to create a vision for a 21st century community college. And I pulled the executive team at the community college together and said, okay, folks, let's put our thinking caps on. What are we all about, this community college, as part of the system of the University of the District of Columbia? And we looked at what we were already doing in workforce development. We've got a campus here. We've got a campus in Ward 6. We've got a campus in Ward 7. We've got a campus in Ward 8. And those campuses are all successful. They are all anchor institutions in their community serving as part of the fabric of that neighborhood. And so the vision of a 21st century community college is represented right here today with this ribbon cutting ceremony. We are re-engineering this space in the spirit of the educator that was Bertie Backus, and her spirit imbues this space, I believe, and we're moving it to the next level of its development. As an anchor institution, Mayor, in Ward 5 here, as part of a community, and community does come before college, so that's what is represented here. I also will miss Dean Ford's energy. Can you imagine following that at every single speech that I've had to do at the community college? I've followed Dean Ford. It has been a true inspiration to have you as part of the team, Kim, and we're not going to let you go too far. President Mason, I am honored that you are here. I was proud to serve on the search committee that brought you here. We will develop a system, a robust, comprehensive system of higher education here in the District of Columbia to serve as a gateway to the middle class. That's what we're all about. Thank you all for coming. It has been my pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips. And that's the one thing, everybody that's been to a celebration of excellence, I always plan to go first. I always do the welcome because I never, ever, ever want to go after a student. Sorry, Deputy Mayor Snowden. And we mentioned that student success is our #1 focus, and you will never have an event that doesn't feature a student because that's who it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, our student representative today, Luis Cedillos.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning, all. Thank you for coming. My name is Luis Cedillos, and before I start, I just want to give you guys a round of applause because I wouldn't be here because of you guys. So please, thank you. Thank you. Let me adjust this here a little bit. Okay, and to think, I came into this program by random chance. This was all sought out for my cousin, really. And I don't know how the UDC Community College did work their magic, but ta-da, here I am. So they instilled in me the confidence to do what I can do at the best I can do it. They never tell me that I couldn't do anything. I am smart, I am capable. One of my professors told me to follow the cheese, which is go on, and never become complacent. Keep looking for bigger and better opportunities that's out there waiting for us. This campus and its staff with its professors have really paved the path for us in opportunity. Their encouragement and occasional prying demeanor shows us that they care and that they will dive in headfirst into deep waters for us. It's been 4 months for me now, and I have 3 certifications under my belt, anxiously waiting for a 4th one. I just finished a 3-stage interview with an elite 500 Fortune company, Capital Concierge. I'm also competing in, I believe, an externship with UDC-CC, which is a nonprofit organization with the utility companies in DC. And I'm also making a paper dress, a dress made out of complete paper. And, all of these successes, honestly, is due to this program. I've never thought I would see myself here. I didn't think I was ever going to get any of the certification or job or even making that dress. It's just so much opportunities. And I just want to say thank you. Also, if my schedule permits, I would like to come back and, get more certifications. Why not, right? So please don't interpret this as me being arrogant. I'm just boastful because I am the byproduct of this organization. I like to think that the workforce development pressures the students because they think of us as diamonds, because diamonds can't be found. You have to find them, and everyone is unique. So I'm thankful for that. I want my achievements to be a homage to Backus and its staff, to know that their effort isn't going to be just for granted. I'm going to try my best to make them proud, because you guys make me proud to be a student here. So with my final thank yous, I want to say I'm truly honored. I'm greatly humbled, and with much love and kindness, I thank you all again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cedillos. And that's the thing, we always say that we get measured by our outputs, the metrics, completion, certification attainment, transition to the degree program, number of degrees awarded, and we can give you all that information and attendance. But that's not what we do. What we do is we restore hope and we rebuild confidence. And it's always great to hear from the students about their perspective. And now you know you're going to find the cheese.
That's right, follow the cheese.
All right. So sorry to do this to my longtime friend. Go all the way back to elementary school. But that's why I put you after the student. See, now she has no recollection of the Shepherd Elementary School treasurer race, okay? I do. I remember making posters, okay? There were dollar bill posters, and my face was in the middle, and it said Kim R. Ford for treasurer. Let me tell you, the students at Shepherd Elementary School did not vote Kim R. Ford for treasurer. They voted for Courtney Snowden, who won by a landslide. She thumped me. And I said, remember that time you beat me for treasurer? No, not at all. Not in the least. I said, okay, see, that's what happens. I still have one of those posters. But you live and you learn. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Mayor of Greater Economic Opportunity, my friend, Courtney Snowden.
So what's funny is we were on the phone the other night, and she said, do you remember that? No, I don't remember that. I was like 10. No, it's been some years, Kim. I just want to say to my very good friend, Kim Ford, thank you so much for your leadership. We have an opportunity every single day to see the great benefit of her leadership as we travel across the city, as I meet with students that she has served at this institution. And I am always blown away by the fact they say the exact same thing. Do you know Dean Ford? Yes, I do know Dean Ford in their uniforms, and they wear it with great pride. And I think that's a great testament to the work that you have done here. So I know we're all really grateful for that. She is right. I never want to follow the mayor or Luis. Both are difficult. Mr. McDuffie, you're going to have a rough job. But I want to just offer a few words because I think the work that is happening at the community college and at this system is so important. And the mayor had significant vision when she created the Deputy Mayor for Greater Economic Opportunity, because like many of us, she realized that prosperity had not touched every single corner of this great city. Now, we've seen buildings go up, and many times we look to make sure that our residents are also working in those buildings, working to build those buildings and then working in those buildings once they're built. But the community college is really doing the incredibly hard work, along with Director Carroll over at the Department of Employment Services, to ensure that our residents are well prepared to take on the jobs as they appear in this city and as we see the significant growth happen. And so the role I get to play is a very clear one. The mayor asked me to do a top-down analysis of the workforce system, and here's what we know for sure: that no workforce system can work in this city or in this country without a high-quality and strong community college. And that's what we're working on building together here in the District of Columbia. And your leadership, Provost Phillips and President Mason, are really the things that are going to help get us there. So I want to also thank Deputy Mayor Niles, who could not be here today. She really wishes she could be here, but couldn't be here for our celebration. She and I work hand in hand to ensure that we have lifelong learning from pre-K all the way till the very end. And so we want to make sure that as we stand up institutions like this, we're making sure that they are accessible and available for everyone, from seniors and beyond. We're focused on job creation and small business growth in my cluster, and making sure that we create that growth in overlooked and underserved communities and make the real change that has to happen a reality for so many of our residents. We are moving full steam ahead on this charge, and I'm delighted that UDC Community College is an example of an adult education system that is working and that is allowing our students, our residents, to take advantage of all this great coursework for free. That deserves a round of applause. They are offering free programs in high-growth industries like healthcare, hospitality, tourism, IT, all positions, all jobs that put people solidly on the pathway to the middle class and beyond. I want to applaud the leadership and the staff here, and again, thank them for the incredible work you have all done to enrich the lives of so many DC residents. And I look forward to getting that number. What is it now? 3,400? To get it, what, to 5, 6, 10,000? We're going to do that together, right? 12,000, that's a good number. Let's get it to 12,000. So we're going to work together to get that done. Thank you so much for coming out this morning, and I'll turn it back over to Kim.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it on Facebook, too. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Snowden. I know we have representatives from Councilmember Bond's office, and I'd like to thank them for being here. Councilmember Grasso's office, and thank them for being here. See, I was excited. Now, I grew up in 4. I've told the mayor this. I grew up in 4. You know, I love 4. Yes, Trustee Tard, around the corner from you. But when I was moving, and I said, oh man, I love where I'm moving to. I said, what? I'm going to 5? Councilmember McDuffie gets to be my rep? Awesome. So I sent him a note. I said, Councilmember, McDuffie, I'm your newest Ward 5 resident. He was like, cool. I said, I'll be calling you with any complaints. No, but I'm so excited. You have always been so incredibly supportive. I didn't mention it earlier, but I want to mention it now. Councilmember McDuffie did write a letter of support in that grant, and that really meant a lot. And you can see the fruit of your labors, and it's going to serve all the residents of the District of Columbia, but has a huge impact here in Ward 5. Thank you so much, Councilmember McDuffie.
Man, guess I'm last, and I've got to follow Kim, got to follow Louise, Deputy Mayor Snowden. Good morning. I am so delighted. It's gotten a lot more people in here since I first sat down. You sit down and you don't see all the folks behind your back, but this is awesome. I'm delighted to be here this morning for a great occasion. And I want to begin by thanking some folks. And some of these folks have already been thanked previously, but I think it's only fitting that we thank them again. Beginning with our mayor, who's been staunchly in support of the University District of Columbia, both as a council member and as mayor. And I've had an opportunity to work with her as a council member on all the issues that affect our flagship and our community college. So let's give Mayor Bowser a round of applause for all her work. I also want to thank the mayor's team, Deputy Mayor Jeannie Niles, Deputy Mayor Snowden, who we heard from. I want to thank President Mason, who's not been here for a really long time, but who has already, in the short time he's been here, really laid a vision he's laid out that I think folks have really rallied behind. And quite frankly, it's been really easy to rally behind because it really embraces all that is University of District of Columbia as well as the community college. And it really is, given its experience, something that I look forward to continuing to support as we watch university grow and become even better than it already is. So thank you, President Mason. Let's give him a round of applause for his work. I also want to recognize Dean Phillips for all her work. I had an opportunity to sit down with her and talk about her vision for the community college, and it's just been phenomenal, everything you've been able to do since you've been here. And you know how valuable our community is because you've worked with our ANC commissioners. I saw Frank Wiles earlier. I also saw Ronnie Edwards in Virginia. I saw Robert Branham. I saw a host of Ward 5 stalwarts who've been here and been supportive of the community college, been supportive of this building, even before it was the community college, who've been working really hard to make sure that what the city does is something that matters not only for the students who attend, but for everybody who is in the community around Ward 5. Let's give all our ANC commissioners who are here. If I didn't mention you, I apologize. Raise your hand so we can see who you are. I also want to recognize the first father and the first mother of Ward 5 who is sitting right up here in front. I think Ms. Bowser, were you an alum of UDC? Okay, yeah, the president was telling me that, and I didn't know that. So I want to recognize you two for being so supportive of everything that's gone and taken place inside this building for decades. And Mayor Bowser mentioned she used to be inside of Backus even before it was a community college site. And I know you as a former ANC commissioner, Mr. Bowser, has been really active in your support of this school over the years, and it has not decreased since it's become the community college site. So I want to thank you for being here as well this morning. I'm going to keep my remarks brief, so I'm actually going to ditch the talking points. I'm going to apologize to my staff. I'm going to ditch the talking points and just tell you, it is particularly great for me to be here because I stand here as a proud product of the University of the District of Columbia. I consider myself an alum, and were it not for UDC 17 years ago, I probably wouldn't be standing right here before you. When I look at Luis and hear his fine remarks, I'm reminded of my time here at the University of the District of Columbia. And in talking to Dr. Phillips, she said, how'd you get interested in politics? I said, well, honestly, it was my experience here at UDC. It was my experience with folks like my late friend Rick Malachi and others who literally convinced me to get on the bus when Mayor Anthony Williams was attempting to move the UDC from the Van Ness campus over to Southeast. And it was my first real experience with local politics. And that experience translated into where I am right here today. And you talked about dreams coming true, Kim, and you talked about dreams coming true, President Mason. And that dreams do come true, but I got to tell you, my dream was never to be an elected official or to be a lawyer even. It was just, really to get a government job in the District of Columbia and get one of those honorable jobs like my parents had. And so standing here today as an alum, not only do dreams come true, but they get amended. And people get to build on those dreams, and people get to actually experiences that they didn't think they were capable of, because there were professors and friends at UDC who believed in me when I didn't quite believe in myself. And so as we look at the renovations that happened in this building, and we look at all the new classrooms that are here today, I'm reminded about all the experiences that I had and all the experiences that will continue to happen in this building because of the commitment of all the folks who are seated here in this building, but seated in the front rows as well. And so I want to be, again, thank you for being here. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, President Mason, Dr. Phillips, for all your hard work. And I really want to give a special shout out to my friend, who I didn't have a chance to go to the school with, but I did go to school with Courtney's brother in high school for a while. Kim Ford, let's give her a special round of applause. I worked with Kim from day one when I took office, and she has been tremendously committed to the community college. She's been tremendously committed to the workforce development programs here in the District of Columbia, and she's just been steadfast. I mean, she has been a fixture in this building, in 801 on North Capitol Street, and in the Wilson building. So it was really easy for me to write that letter of support, because I know how much it meant to Kim, and I know how much it's meant for the thousands of people who come through these doors, and I know how much it means for the futures of all the students like Luis who are going to come here and get a quality education, either take that education to the flagship or somewhere else to contribute to the fabric that is the District of Columbia. Tanae Dolphin, who's here, and Ward 5 residents, has been phenomenally supportive of the university as well, and great. It is just a phenomenal day to be here. So thank you all for being a part of today's event. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you, my council member. I told you about that sign over there, and I don't like that. No, I'm kidding. I do also want to thank the Bennett Group and Mr. Bowen, who literally did the renovations. They're here. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's important to acknowledge the funders, but it's not like the money just came in and then it just did itself. So we really appreciate all of your work. And even when we, I learned a lot about construction projects. we found some special things in this building, didn't we? But you guys were really flexible and really great to work with. And I just want to thank everybody for being here. And again, as I said, Luis is representative of thousands and thousands of District of Columbia residents who come in and out of Backus and Marion Shad and PR Harris and St. Elizabeth's, United Medical Center, 801 North Capitol, out at the farm, Van Ness, and the hangar at Ronald Reagan National Airport. Did I get them all? Yeah, man, we everywhere. So we're gonna move over here and do the official ribbon cutting. But again, thank you so much for your support. It's not just about today. We're gonna keep moving forward until every resident in the District of Columbia has the opportunity to achieve their dream. Thank you so much.
One, two, three.